Hello, Redditors. Hello, Challenge fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Challenge Redditors React Podcast for episode 5. Yes, it's the 5th episode now of Spies, Lies, and Allies. We hope you enjoyed last week's episode with the wonderful Huey. But there is someone equally wonderful who is joining me on the podcast right now. You might currently see him eating a Kinder Bueno and licking your fingers if you're watching the version that we put on YouTube. And if not, you might hear the chomping. Yes, it is my partner in crime. It's my ally. George, how are you doing?
I'm sorry about that. I'm very, very low on energy today because I had a mate's wedding yesterday and I feel a little bit fragile. So I was trying to get some sugar in me pre-podcast so I could be enthusiastic about it.
Why do you feel fragile, George, may I ask? Anything to do with beverages?
It might be quite to do with beverages.
And tick that off on the bingo card.
Yeah, that's a very, very early one for that one. But it was a really good wedding. Very, very sassy ceremony director, which is quite interesting.
Amber M. Was it Amber M?
I forgot how much you loved her and her. I actually would watch her sort out run a wedding ceremony. It'd be hilarious. But no, just mate, generally really, really lovely day. Food was amazing. Always had I think they just had unlimited red wine. I think I got about 2.5 bottles during dinner and then cocktails. So you're going to have to do a lot of work on this one, mate.
Oh, it's like every week, then, isn't it?
Yeah,
banter.
pretty much.
Speaking of banter, before we get onto the banter segment, I got a rundown for you this week, George. This is what's happening on the podcast. The usual shit, and we'll be joined by Brian. Banter segment time.
I'm fair. I kind of zoned out halfway through that, mate. I'm not going to lie to you. My head's incredibly fuzzy at the moment, but I enjoyed the enthusiasm at the end. Do I have any banter for you? You brought up beveraging. One of my favourite moments I've ever had on rugby tour was we flooded the entire corridor of the hotel and turned it into a slip and slide, which was very, very good fun. But
did you tell this on the Amber podcast, or did you tell it? Was that after we stopped recording?
I think it was after we stopped recording. I think I mentioned it to Devon. But basically, we plugged all the sinks.
Wonderful Devon Simone or number one draft pick Devon Walker?
The wonderful Devon Simone.
Both friends of the pod.
Basically plugged all the hotel sinks and got the floor, got the hotel corridor wet, ran up and down it with fairy liquid. And then our first team hooker, which is a rugby position, by the way, you perverts, attempted to slide down the entire corridor down on a lilo, but he jumped too vertically, blew up the lilo and knocked himself out. So
that is classic hooker.
That is quite a hooker thing to do.
But you know what? I bet he fucking played rugby the next day.
He did actually, but then before we went to play rugby the next day, we had to go down and pay our fine for flooding the corridor, which is about $3,500. It's not cheap.
Between how many?
45. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
About £74.38 each, give or take.
Good Lord, mate, that was fast.
Yeah, well, unlike one third of the challenges, I can do that.
But we took our captain, our vice captain went down to pay, and the person my dad's like, look, there's over 150 students from Reading University here. They've not caused £1 worth of damage. And our very, very drunk mate just went, oh, well, clearly they don't have to beverage then, which obviously did not go down well with the person telling us off for being a dickhead. There's your banter segment for the week.
Well, do you know what? This was a few years ago when you were just a little baby. And speaking of little babies, this week's in Challenge News, Zach and Jenna have had a little baby, Anthony Nichols. So big mazel tov to them. Lovely news. Congratulations. And also this week in Challenge News, Ed's mum, Tammy, slid into my DMs. Okay, Levi challenge time.
No. Tell us about the DM sliding first.
Oh, it's not even that interesting. I posted Ed doing some dancing and she sent a message with the love heart because she loved it so much. Because they were on the circle together. They were in the same apartment. So obviously she's a big fan of Ed. As big a fan of us. As big a fan as we are. She's not really a fan of us, but as big a fan of Ed as we are. Hopefully she's a fan of us. Who knows? Listen to the pod, Tammy.
She'd be a pretty massive podcast fan if she liked us as much as she liked her own child.
Yeah. Big shout out to Tammy Eason as I raise the water. Levi challenge.
Yeah.
There's been another failure.
How did your belief test go?
There's been another failure, George. Do you remember last week I was quite bunged up during the podcast?
Yeah, you were a bit snotty with Huey.
Brilliant. And then as the days progressed, I got progressively worse to the point that potentially I thought it was COVID. So I had to take a COVID test. Fortunately, I tested negative, but I wasn't really well enough to do any exercise, let alone a bleep test. And then it was Rosh Hashanah. So synagogue, lots of eating. I didn't really get around to it. Also, logistically, when I was thinking about how I could do it whilst I had potential COVID, which wasn't COVID, I couldn't actually work out how I could film it. So that's another fail for Levi on the Levi Challenge. So it's 2 passes, 2 fails. Help, give me something easy.
You're batting at CT's elimination record, though. No, he's 6-5 now because they almost got a 50% win rate. I don't know. You have sinned quite a lot recently, Levi. I'm very, very disappointed in you.
Almost too much. But fortunately, Rosh Hashanah is over and Yom Kippur is coming up. So the Day of Atonement, where I'll be repenting for my sins.
That'll work, yeah. So Yom Kippur is, correct me if I'm wrong, 25 hours without eating. And you can obviously drink, can't you?
No, you can't drink. Right?
You can't drink for 25 hours.
No, it's like 6:28 p.m. on Wednesday night till 7:28 p.m. on Thursday night. You can't eat, you can't drink, no water, no nothing.
That sounds hard. That sounds like a challenge in and of itself. So if this is not unfair to say, you will repent for your sins this week by completing Yom Kippur as so cool. I'm going to build it into your schedule for what you're doing anyway.
Oh, well, I thank you very much for that one, Rabbi George. But I won't be able to film it.
I reckon there can't be a rabbi called George anywhere in the world, can there?
Who knows? I won't be able to film it just for the simple reason it is Yom Kippur, so I'm not meant to be using my phone. But I will do it. And once it's over, I'll film my mum saying that I've completed it and send it to you.
Perfect. And a 30-second summary of how tired and hungry and thirsty you are, please.
Oh, mate, the last 2 hours are hell, like proper headache. I was speaking to some Muslim friends of mine who obviously do Ramadan, which is 30 days. I know obviously they can drink at sundown from sundown to sunset, but still it's very difficult, and they can eat during that time, but it's still very difficult. I say 25 hours I find hard enough. So I admire them so much for doing 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is hard. Yom Kippur sounds trickier though.
Well, no, because it's like you do 25 hours and it's done. Like if you're doing 30 days and you find the first 3 days tough, you got to tough it out for another 27 days.
That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, fair play.
And I do you can sleep during those 25 hours as well.
I try and sleep for about 20 of it.
Well, spend some time in the synagogue, and then do the fasting, a little bit of sleeping, and then at the end of it, I always end up eating too much and feeling ill. Yeah.
So basically, you've got like the extremes across a 28-hour period, and then for that little nice bit in the middle, you feel okay again. I bet the food's sweet though.
It's all about culture. Well, I was going to say it's all about culture and tradition. And one place that we know has a lot of culture and tradition is Romania, where our favorite Romanian rapper, Emmy, is from. You've got to do the segues, George. You can't just throw it into there.
That was a very, very good segue. Nicely done.
So yes, Emmy's EPs. This week, obviously, I like to show it the screen. Oh, if you listen to the Instagram clip of Emmy's EPs, you will hear the song in the background, but we can't do it on YouTube because we get a big copyright flag. George is opening another Kinder Bueno. So yes, I have been listening to, for Emmy's EPs, it's called Fatalu Tony Montana. Now, that means I am the face of Tony Montana. Now, obviously, we know she did a song about Hannah Montana. I've done some digging. Tony Montana, no relation, just the same surname. So I've done a little Google Translate because shock horror, the whole thing's in Romanian again.
Is Tony Montana not the character from Scarface?
Oh yeah, he is the character from Scarface, not the father of Hannah Montana. That is Billy Ray Cyrus. But whilst you think about his achy breaky heart, let me tell you about Emmy's achy breaky heart, because let me read some translation. Bitch, you don't tell me what to do, bitch. You don't tell me when to shut up, bitch. You don't see that I have gold on me and steel body, Tony Stark. You don't see that you don't have nothing. Your progress is insignificant. That's why I feel obliged to put you in my film. It's Emmy, a Lupe's world. The hinges on all the puppies and all the lackeys. I have neon green blood in my veins. Predator of modern jungles. I'm a witch hunt. I have no competition. I'm dead. Bitch! And the best thing is, when she does that, it's Emmy, a Lupe's world. It is in Romanian, but she does it in that cadence, which I really like. So, as far as the song itself, because I know the people are here for the rundown, the music critique from someone with a music degree, which I do actually have. Yeah, I really like it. It's interesting at the beginning because she starts with quite a deep voice, but then goes into her usual Emmy voice. And in the middle of it, she has what I like to call a little Alicia Dixon Mystique breakdown, where the song goes completely different, but then suddenly goes back to normal, which reminds me a little bit of, in One Night Stand by Mystique. I said, get up, it's a one-night stand. Here I come again with my rhyming slang. Right to the rhythm as I flip this sound. Flip this sound, we're gonna move around. My Misty, we're coming back again. Right to the rhythm inside your membrane. I'm gonna burn you with my lyrical flame. Start the game, come for me, it's time to play. And then it goes, to mislead you wasn't my intention. Nothing more to say. I hear the sound of the DJ play in a jam. Anyway, so it's kind of like it goes completely off the song and then completely on the song. We are definitely getting flagged on copyright there. But yeah, anyway, it's got that nice little breakdown there. One thing I will say, because I think I've been overly positive on Emmy's EPs. And it's probably because I heard Hannah Montana first.
Yeah.
Let's just say Hannah Montana and Tony Montana could be related, not just because of their surname, but also because the songs sound pretty fucking similar. But I liked Hannah Montana. It's a good song for spinning. I think this could be a good song for spinning. And what I've decided, George, is once I complete Emmy's EPs, I'm going to set up a fucking spin playlist.
Nice. I enjoyed your review. There was one line in that I really enjoyed. Predator of the modern jungle is actually a very, very well thought out bit of wording.
Do you know what my favorite line was?
Bitch!
No, it's Emmy, a Lupe's world.
Yeah.
I'm all about the cadence. But yeah, so I will give that. I think I would have liked it more if I hadn't heard Hannah Montana, because it does have some Hannah Montana similarities. But then also at the same time, I did really like it because I liked Hannah Montana. So another banging track from our friend, Emmy Alupe. And I look forward to listening to another one next week. George, quick question, because I think by putting this segment in, we've really turned a corner in the class that we're giving out on this podcast. But I would like you to bring the class down before we talk about Redditor's Corner by whipping out your massive poll.
Nicely done again. Actually, I was listening for some reason to the official challenge podcast earlier today. It's terrible. I got 10 minutes in, I got bored. But they try and think of the word for segue and explain what a segue is, and they can't think about what it is for about 15 seconds. It's like, you guys aren't as good as Levi. You're just terrible podcasters.
I didn't tell him to say that. No. I'll PayPal the money over to you now, though, George.
I'm literally just checking my bank app now. No, let me whip out this massive poll. I went for a slightly different one this week. It wasn't as like it wasn't as like quick fire as the other one. It was a bit more of a thought one.
Okay. So it was a slow burn on erecting that poll, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So only about 650 votes, but I quite liked this idea because it was, so what combination of season, so cast and format, would make for the best season? So it's like the cast of one of them and then the format of another. So we had Rivals 1 format and the Vendettas cast. Didn't do overly well. The weird thing here, though, is the results for this are all very, very evenly spread. So that we got about 80 votes. War of the World 1 format and Final Reckoning cast. That's the one I would have picked because that Final Reckoning cast is all-time great and that format was a mess.
I hated Final Reckoning. I don't ever want to hear about it.
I know you do. Whenever we did a what if about it, you were absolutely useless.
I don't know why I was there.
Rivals 2 cast and double agents format. I actually think that one would have been quite interesting. Dual format and War of the Worlds 2 cast. I thought that would have been awesome. And then free agents cast and the cutthroat format. Any of those, I know you said you're very, very good at picking up moments. You sometimes struggle with big seasons, but do any of those jump out as ones that would be of the most interest to you? Or do you want to guess which one?
The list was so long, I've forgotten what all of the options were.
You are literally a much better host than you are you are a second person on this. You're just so self-involved. The winner was wondering what my reaction would be for that. No, the winner was dual format and War of the Worlds 2 cast, which I think is fair because that War of the Worlds 2 cast, now you look back at that, that is a great one. If that got released today, like the excitement for the season would be awesome. Because I think I think gearing up for the season 41 is going to be a awesome cast. And I think that's why they're trying to rush through seasons. But yes, that was my massive poll this week. For Redditor's Corner, I actually haven't saved that much.
Just hit me with one, because I think Brian is messaging us going, how long are you going to be?
Yeah, so Gabo, so someone tweeted, it's about this episode, someone, Derek Kaczynski, just kind of told Mike the situation about how Gabo was praying to him, and Mike's situation replied to it, messaged Gabo, and now Gabo has had his week made. So that's a very, very nice little bit from Redditor's Corner.
Do you know what? Good on Derek. I know I'm quite negative about him, but well done.
Some of the Redditors were saying that we should chip in and get a cameo from the situation to Gabo to cheer him up. I was like, this is such a nice Reddit.
It's a lovely thought, but do you not also think you work for MTV, you work for MTV, MTV should just sort that out? Yeah,
I mean, the situation's obviously a much bigger star though, so I don't know whether they do that time or something. Actually, I don't know much about them. But right, shall we let Brian in? Well,
we can do, but speaking of stars, there's one more thing that we need to talk about and send a big congratulation to the second challenger to appear on Dancing with the Stars after the wonderful Huey, who is now friend of the pod Huey, because Mike the Miz Mizanin has been announced for season 30 of Dancing with the Stars on ABC. So congratulations to the Miz, from MTV to ABC. But you know what else would be fantastic? As you say, let's get Brian on. I'm not going to give him that big of an introduction because he's pretty much on every other week. He goes by the name of TJ's Bike on Reddit. So without further ado, let's bring on Brian. Brian, it's been so long. How are you?
It's been too long. You know, I know I'm not Huey, but I guess your listeners will have to scrape the bottom of the barrel this week. I appreciate the introduction.
You may not be Huey, but you are Huey, and that's all we want.
Okay.
We've actually now run out of new friends. We've had to refer back to our old friends.
Yeah, it's like, man, you guys are killing it on the guest booking. You had to like call me and be like, hey, Brian.
well, we shifted.
No one will
come and play with us.
No one will come and play with us this week. Can you help us out? George is hungover and needs someone to help him carry the pod. He's got no energy.
Don't lie, George. We had to get our mummies to call up Brian's mummy to get him to come play.
Yeah. So when you bike round, is that a thing in the States, Brian, where you just bike round to your mate's house and go, can so-and-so come out and play? And they just go, no. And you're like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that was the first 7 years of my life, pretty much.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Brian? You good? You sent over my care package yet? We won't talk about what's in it.
I'm good. I have not sent it quite yet. I'm still waiting on delivery of a special item for you, a surprise item. No, not that, George. But I'm good. Last day of work before vacation, and then I'm off for a couple days. It feels good. It's good around here. Good vibes.
Ooh,
good vibes in the city. Yeah, good vibes in the city.
And what is the one thing that you would love to do on the last day of work before vacay? Is it talking about the challenge episode 5 2 days after it's aired?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing else I'd rather do in the world, to be honest. That's it.
That was
absolutely
sincere and sarcastic at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a bit like the Emmys
sarcasm.
EP segment.
Yeah.
Oh man, what did you guys talk about this week? Which one was it?
Oh, it was. I'm sure you've heard of it. It
Yeah,
was.
I listen to her music all the time.
Yeah, it was the big one. Fata Lu Tony Montana. No relation to Hannah.
Dude. Yes. What did you say? Well, whatever. I'll listen to it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You'll listen to it. I'll clip it up.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, similar surname, similar sound to Hannah, but it is what it is. Do you like the bit where she's like, "It's Emmy, Lupe," and there's that little gap?
Yeah.
Yeah. George, you need to get on the Emmy Lupe Romanian rap hype train.
I think I actually. I feel quite left out now, so I will be listening to this.
Like next time you climb a mountain doing a handstand the entire time or whatever crazy shit you do, just listen to her music. You'll get up there quick as hell.
But do you know what else is quick as hell? This introduction, because
the
challenge is back. We'll talk about that later. The challenge is back for another episode. Last week, friend of the show Huey and friend of the show Amber, not B, won the elimination against Corey Late and Michelle, which led to some new team partnerships being formed. So friend of the show Amber, don't have to put the B anymore, and number one draft pick friend of the show Devon Walker became a partnership. Friend of the show Huey and George's best friend Nanny became a partnership, because do you remember last season when we did the podcast, Brian, George used to slag Nanny off so much?
It was every single episode. To be honest, it almost made me stop listening, but then I powered through and I stuck with it.
You made that joke so many times now, that I'm actually starting to believe I was quite rude about Nanny.
Dude, it was insane. It was crazy. I mean, anyone who paid attention knows.
Every single time you did it as well, you put on my voice to make it seem like it was me, but we didn't do a video. That was the last time, so you were like, "Oh, no one can prove it."
Yeah, you do a bad Levi impression. So I call it every time.
I think it sounds exactly like him. It's the right amount of pretentious and stupid.
This is what happens when Brian comes on the show. It's like, first of all, George turns into a cock, and second of all of my intros get fucked up. So shut up and let me get into this link, which left Ashley paired with Josh, and the rookie pair of Gabo and Emmy, the rapper from Romania. Now, I know that's a lot to digest. So let's see what went down when they got back to the house. Thank you for staying quiet. So do we think Aneesa's right? Does Amber have no reason to be pissed, given that she doesn't really have a relationship with Esther and God knows what's going on with Fessy? Or has Fessy blown up the Big Brother Alliance and in turn potentially blown up the Vets Alliance?
I think Amber's got, and obviously we're biased on this, right?
So biased, that's what the B stands for.
No, the B stands for Brian, which we've got on the podcast this week to stop us being biased. But I would be annoyed if I was Amber in this situation. I mean, that's pretty understandable. First off, even if she didn't have the Big Brother relationship, which I don't think is that big because they didn't really work together last season. But the Vets actually one of them is quite big. But fundamentally, they've got a Vets agreement, and I think she's more of a vet. Yeah, she is technically a vet. And yeah, shut up, Aneesa.
Brian?
Yeah, I mean, not as much on the shut up Aneesa thing, but I do agree with George overall. I don't know. Fessy's he's just dumb. So it's like, the logic behind what he did is, I think, what is driving Amber is upsetting Amber the most, because it's like, she just doesn't get it. It's like, why? What the fuck was the point of any of that?
Do you get it? I don't get it.
No.
Other than blind jealousy that she won and he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I get it from like a stupid person's perspective, like him. Like he doesn't. He's not thinking big picture. He can't think. What's the saying? You can't see the forest and the trees or whatever.
You can't see the wood from the trees.
That's it. Bear shits in the woods.
Nailing his flag to the mast. George's favorite.
That's it. No,
we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. That's my favorite.
There's no point in even trying to figure it out. He's just dumb. It was a dumb thing to do. It was stupid. Well, it just was. And he's sitting there in the bed and being like, whatever. We'll get there, I think. But it's just like,
Well, it backfired as well because it led to Michelle and Corey Lay getting eliminated. And obviously, Michelle leaves behind Emmanuel. She's written him a letter, 3 lines long. Obviously, doesn't care that much. Tori looks after him. How long till they shag? How many episodes?
Oh, I mean, wait. She is like one of the most relentless human beings I've ever seen in my life in terms of her pursuit of male attention. It's insane. It's nuts. I don't know, as quickly as Emmanuel wants it to happen, you know.
There's a clip, I think, in the trailer of both of them having quite a steamy dancing session. So I think it could be on the card for a little bit of a challenge. Rumpy pumpy.
Yes. Brian, welcome to being the American in between 2 Brits.
Because it was obvious I was picking the most British thing I could think of there to describe.
It seems pretty damn British to me, Rumpy Pumpy, I'll tell you what.
You know who's not British? George's best mate, Nanny. I'm pointing, and what I've just realised is in the edit, I think George is not in the direction that I'm pointing, but he is on my current screen. I'm pointing at the screen. Anyway,
you're fine.
She checks on Gabo. He's a little bit emotional because he was with Nanny, and now he's with Emmy. Which makes him part of a rookie team. And we know what happens to rookie teams unless Fessy's in power and fucks everything up. Now, what Gabo says is he wants to win because he wants to help his family and buy a sports car. I'm so over Gabo. He's like Kyle without the charm. He's like trying to be everything that made us like Kyle, but he has no charm and he's just like stupid.
No, I think that's a bit harsh. Gabo really grew on me in this episode. Like, I think he's so unapologetically just dumb, but so well-meaning, and it actually comes across as quite charming.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Gabo rules. What are you talking about?
I can't get massive. Do you know what? I'll be honest. I'm struggling to get behind many of the rookies because I know they'll be gone in a couple of episodes.
Tori's trying to.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to emotionally invest in any of them because they'll be gone soon.
Well, that's the beauty of Gabo is you don't have to emotionally invest in it. It's just that's the point. It's like he was great to have around for as long as we had him around, and like the fact that he loves Jersey Shore as much as he does makes me think like that's how I feel about the challenge. So it's like I can appreciate that. Like sometimes I pray to CT when I'm in strenuous situations, you know.
Do you think what could come of this appearance on the challenge is Jersey Shore Gabo Reacts podcast?
Oh,
shall I slide into his DMs if he needs a co-host?
If you guys got Gabo on this thing, I wasn't also invited, I'd never talk to you guys again.
Well, what we do is all 3 of us would cycle around your house, knock on your door and say, can Brian come out to play, please?
And I'd say only if Gabo's there.
Yeah.
And
I'd say, sorry, Gabo is playing with Mike the situation.
Then I know. Then no, he cannot come out to play.
So you like him because you feel like he's there, he's Gabo, we don't have to emotionally invest. Do you know who gets very emotional, by the way, on the challenge?
Emmy?
Josh Martinez.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He does.
He's having a little chat with Amber outside. He swears he tried to look out for her. He doesn't swear at her. He swears that he tried to look out for her. Amber's getting quite upset. She doesn't want to be naive anymore. Berna makes some bitchy, catty, unnecessary comment. And Josh says the biggest mistake he made was not telling Amber Fessy was going to throw her down. So he knew.
Okay, first off, let's do the quick one here. Shut up, Berna. Doesn't involve you. Go away. Go back to a circus.
You clown. You clown, Bertha. Don't talk about friend of the show Amber like that. Clown.
Yeah, you clown.
Clown. I quite like Bertha.
I don't mind her, but I thought that clown comment was really, really funny. I don't think there's massive drama. I think it just shows that kind of we already knew. Even though Josh is, actually enjoying Josh a lot more this season, we've still shown that he's not. He's still a bit weak. If Josh did know that Fessy was going to throw Amber down and then went and told Amber. That's actually quite an interesting bit of character development, because it puts more weight to Josh standing up to the Big Brother Alliance and actually being a good person. Whereas here it's just like, okay, so you feel guilty about it, but you didn't do anything to stop it. But it does link into something more interesting later in the episode about the breakdown of the Big Brother Alliance, which I won't jump to, but I can't wait to talk about that.
Well, Brian, he does say here that he's checked out the Big Brother Alliance. Is this a thing where he says it for 2 episodes and then he's like back with them, best friends again?
Yeah, of course. Like, what are you talking like? Oh, I'm checked out. I had the same best friend since we were kindergarten. How many times I've been checked out of that friendship? And we were talking this morning, so it's like, I don't know. I'm not hearing that.
It's awkward if that friend doesn't know and
it's like,
and be like, "What? Oh, you checked out of our friendship? What?"
Oh, believe me, he's checked out too. We both been in and out of this thing. Here's the deal, though, George. Is what I know you said, and you're like, yeah, I can kind of like Josh this season. He's just getting a good edit. He's the same exact person. He's just like friends with your friends now. So it's like you don't have a choice.
Yeah, but a friend of George's enemy is George's enemy. A friend of George's friend is George's friend.
I don't think that's how it goes.
No, I just pretty much hate everyone. I'm very tired.
Speaking of George's enemies, good old Fess. He's chatting with Nanny and Casey and Tori and Aneesa, basically all the girls. Basically saying he never had a relationship with Amber. Josh is trying to sit too pretty. Casey's like, I don't understand why Josh putting on his game on the line for Amber of all people. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I feel like, this is my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. Casey and Fessy think they're the best. And they're pissed off that Amber, who they obviously thought was weak last season, outsmarted them to get to the final, even though she was the bottom of their pile. And then she went and won it. And they're just pissed off.
Yeah, I agree. I also get but I get why Josh is putting his like hand out to protect Amber as well. She would, because
he's a nice person.
Also be a great finals partner.
Yeah,
I also think Josh is actually a nice person. I think we've been too harsh on him last season.
I also agree with that. But
it's never been about him being nice. He's always been nice. But George nailed it. It's because he thinks they would win the final if they were together. He doesn't want to lose a partner.
But they wouldn't. But they wouldn't win the final because Josh would be in the partnership.
That doesn't matter. That's what he thinks. It's about what he thinks. It's just the same thing with Fessy and Casey. To answer your question too, it's like Fessy and Cassie think that they're the best because in their minds, if Casey didn't get injured in the final, they would have won. They think that. Their mindset is that they're champions despite bad luck or whatever. That's what they think. So that's why they're acting this way, because they think they won last season.
Are they aware they did not win last season?
I don't know, and I wish Amber would fucking start reminding people. Like I don't know why I took her this on to say fuck Big Brother. Like that's how she should have been right away. She's been weird this season. I'm also weirdly fascinated by her. I can't stop think. Sometimes I just sit on my porch and think about Amber and just how and why we got here.
Does Instagram.com/Tori_Kennedy know about this?
Not like that. God, Jesus Christ. Not like that.
Stop trying to get Brian in trouble. So I also think that Fessy and Casey do absolutely think they're the best. I think they're probably, it's probably based on jealousy. I think Brian's completely right there. But they're arguably both very, very good at lots of the game, but they've never had this they've never had what should be a first season experience on the challenge. They should have got thrown in loads. But they debuted in the Skull game with 4 life or death allies. So they've had a very, very easy intro to this show. Whereas
that's a really good point.
Jay, someone mentioned this on the Reddit in a discussion this week. I think it was about a conversation about what it takes to be a vet. And basically they brought up this point about Fessy, Cassie and Fessy, who is absolutely how they're getting referred to from now on, Brian. I think they've got it here. That they're good, but they are really overinflated. have got a really overinflated ego. And I think that when the Vet Alliance starts breaking up, I am fascinated to see what happens if they are just thrown into back-to-back eliminations together. And they could come out and it will actually give them a bit of a challenge, a bit of a cooler story on the challenge. But they could also lose, which would be great.
Can I just ask about this whole vet thing? Because technically, if Sean Lineker came back, he's a vet. Like, I don't think it should be you're a rookie / prospect or you're a vet. It should be rookie, challenger until you've done 3 seasons, then vet / champion. If you win on your first season like Amber, then you go straight from rookie to champion. I think there should be 4 categories. I just think like saying you're a vet because you've done 1 episode on a previous season. I'm not saying Sean's walking around saying that he's a vet, but I'm just using him as an example. Like, to say that you're a vet because you did a couple of episodes on 1 season doesn't make you any better than the rookies that are coming in that season. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but I think they do a lot of self-policing with that. Like, you know, I think they kind of keep each other in check in that way. Like, there is sort of a, like, you can't really go on saying that because people will tell you to shut up. Like, you know, the grown-ups in the room will be like, stop. You know, there is still a gravitas.
CT, basically. Like, CT will say stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the reason that Casey and Fessy are being unchecked. Their egos are so inflated because, I mean, I know you guys aren't his biggest fan, but with no Bananas around or someone like him to kind of like...
I don't mind Bananas.
I like Bananas. I think the show's missing him.
Well, that's what I mean. There's no one around to check these guys. There's no one around to be like, to tell them to fucking relax. Like, CT's not going to, unless provoked. And Fessy learned his lesson with that last season, hopefully. Like, Corey's not going to because he just rides the wave, and Kyle's not going to either. So, like, who else is going to, what other veterans are around?
Us. I mean, we will tell them.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be like Ashley to do it.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because if you think about it, kind of, after Corey, the next person that's kind of vets is someone like a Devin or a Nelson. And next morning, Nelson's flirting with Berna at breakfast. Kyle's flirting with Devin by the pool, but over on the grass, the new hot guy Logan is flirting with Big T. Now, I want to go straight to you, Brian, because based on the criteria that you and myself and Lauren discussed of new hot guy, I don't think Logan is the new hot guy. I think Emmanuel is the new hot guy.
So, yeah, I think you're right. But here's the deal, though, is like a couple of smooches here and there does not a new Hawkeye make. You know, the production needs to be there. It's why, if he's starts hooking up with Tori, I think that kind of cements it for sure. Logan just didn't want it. Logan's too hot. He's like Joss. He didn't want. He's too hot to like hook up on TV. You know, him and Big T are just they work from like a personality, like chemistry standpoint. You know,
quick question as well.
That's the problem. Yeah,
with the new hot guy situation, if Noam gets a 3rd shot next season, is he still part of the...
No,
so he doesn't even get another chance.
New. The new word "new" goes away. You know,
but you were giving him a new hot guy 2nd chance this season, and he
that was due to the Lolo corollary more than anything. When you get,
but the 1st season it was Lolo's fault. The 2nd season it was Coco's fault. So surely he gets another chance.
You say Coco?
No,
I'm trying to say the word without saying it because it's not official.
Cute names to this pandemic, please. I don't think cute names are what we need to get us through. On the other side,
Nom is what we need to get us
here's
through.
The deal: like Nom only got a 2nd shot. You don't get a 3rd shot at being the new Hawkeye. Either you are or you aren't. You are or you aren't.
As far as I understand it, it's only linear. So if he stayed on, he would have still been the new hot guy unless someone ripped the belt.
That's correct.
Depressingly, someone has taken the belt. Also,
so
I don't find Logan
Kyle
that
still
hot.
the new hot guy?
What's up?
Is Kyle still the new hot guy?
No, it's vacant because it got taken from Kyle by Bear, but then we had to vacate Bear's reign. So it's currently just vacant. It's just sitting there for anyone.
And can we just go back?
Hot guys can have the goddamn belt if somebody would goddamn just take it. I don't get it. Sorry.
Can we just go back to that filth that just came out of George's mouth? I don't think Logan's that hot. He's hot.
He's not.
Yeah, you're not. That's a wild ass.
He looks unbelievable in his pictures, but he just he doesn't look that great in normal life.
No,
you are so wrong about this one.
This opinion got 172 upvotes on unpopular opinions last week.
He's literally hotter than Joss.
Well, he's not hotter than Joss.
Yes.
Yeah, Levi, calm down.
Okay, hold on. George, your massive poll. I want your massive poll this week.
Hotter than Joss?
Your massive poll this week,
Levi. Hottest people to ever live. Are you serious?
George, your massive poll this week is who is hotter, Joss or Logan? Please, I want to know what the Redditors think.
Fine.
No one's hot. Logan or Joss is he's the pinnacle, man. Yeah. I mean, he's like Joss is hotter than him.
Joss is like two Kyles, a Nam, and a
Joss is so hot.
Zach level of hotness. Was Jordan the new hot guy for a bit?
Jordan was the new hot guy, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. A couple seasons.
Then Kyle took it.
Corey. Well, I went Jordan, Tony
Corey,
for one episode.
Oh, when he hooked up with the Christina, the one girl who I love her. She is I love her.
Sorry, guys, can we just take a brief break to say 3, 2. I am spending my Friday night hungover in the same clothes I've been wearing for the last 2 days and arguing about how hot people are on a reality TV show that none of my mates know about.
Yeah. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, George.
I'm having a wonderful evening.
Look, I am.
No, Levi, you're meant to be fasting. You can't be thirsting after Logan anymore.
Not till Wednesday night. But yeah, from just to go back to what George said, you're wrong. Logan's hot as fuck, and Big T is going to bang him. Now, let's go away from objectifying men because it's wrong. And let's move to the woman that George hates more than anyone else. Old Nanny. So she's having a chat with Huey. Saying that she is friend of the show, Huey, that she's flattered that he chose her as a partner. Ed, fucking love Ed, and his mom Tammy. Ed is hot.
Yeah.
Brian?
Ed's a good-looking cat. He's not hot though. Like he's got
hot personality. Hot personality.
Yeah, but that voice, he's good looking. He's hot, like with a lowercase, but he's not hot with a capital. You know what I
mean? Brian, can you please do this in your next breakdown of like a different
Listen, I feel like I talk about it quite enough, but yeah, absolutely. I'll go into more detail just for you.
Happy Friday. Anyway, so Ed thinks Huey picking Nanny's a smart move. It is, but Nanny gives Huey a bit of a pep talk because Huey's a bit down on himself. He's like, I freaked out on a lot of the challenges. I freaked out on a lot of them, and I was worried what people might think. And then Nanny was like, Huey, you may have freaked out, but you gave it a go. You did really well. And Huey says, I need to be more confident. I need to listen to her. Stop being naive and just shut up, Huey. They're cute, aren't they?
I love your Huey impression. It's so
good. You did your Huey impression too, Huey. It was like, my brain almost exploded.
Yeah,
I couldn't really process it.
I was worried that was going to cause the world to end.
Were you like, oh my God, there's 2 Hueys on the podcast. How's that possible?
No, I thought he was going to hang up.
I did say though, I was like, I'm not going to do it in the accent. He was like, do it in the accent. I don't get offended.
I still thought he was going to hang up.
They're quite cute together, guys. Talk about it. Come on, podcast.
I don't know. I got nothing for you.
They do seem quite cute. Also, I think Huey is actually incredibly genuine. Like he's on the interview with us, and he was on. I think I read something about the way he was interviewed this week as well. He does sound like he had quite a lot of "I won't vote for you if you don't vote for me" deals, and I think he generally stuck to all of his, but no one else. I think a lot of other people have stabbed in the back here, so he's obviously quite an emotional person, but getting betrayed, getting betrayed is obviously really shit. So I think you're just going to see Huey get more and more like this throughout the season as he finds out that more and more people are breaking their deals with him. And we're going to get one hell of a rant at the end of it. That's a prediction. Put it on the whiteboard, Levi.
I actually have a whiteboard.
Oh, cool. Can we start doing long-term challenge predictions?
It's like
you should. You should write it on the wall behind you.
I can't because my flat's still being done up still. I'm still in the temporary flat, so I'll kind of have to
Sounds like an excuse to me.
But anyway, yeah. So next bit was weird. Carl just sinks a good shot in pool and hugs Devin. I don't know why they put that in. Maybe to show that they don't hate each other anymore.
Time out. Rewind. That's not just weird. It's annoying. Why didn't they show what happened? They went nuts. They acted like the way they were acting is that Kyle did the coolest trick shot in the history of pool, and they didn't show it. They just showed. Well,
we had a whole episode 2 episodes ago where we didn't mention his name, Brian.
No, I mean, it was just very disarming. I got nothing. That's all I got.
What do you think about Kyle sinking the balls, George? Well, his missus is due very soon. I think she was due the other day, actually. So
the fact you went from sinking balls to the fact she's pregnant is rank.
No, I was saying something nice next time we do the podcast.
Levi's always been good at segues, man.
Yeah. Next time we do the podcast, he might be a daddy. Daddy Carl. That really fucks up Corey's game.
It also, but Kyle will do it so much more entertainingly than Corey does it as well. It's just like, I am now officially a dad. I might have been a dad for a while because condoms are not always 100% effective.
Or always used. Allegedly, we don't know. Just saying.
Get vasectomized, kids. It's cool to snip. Anyway, move on before I start getting fined for public service announcements.
Don't do what George says.
Kid.
I don't even think that's a word. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And if you do, George said it, not me or Brian. Carry on, George.
Like I said, all those things about nanny.
I can get behind that.
It's a video podcast now, George, so people will see that shit. Okay, so we're just going to gloss over them sinking the balls. But I think it does show that what happened in the last episode between them is done now.
Oh, I see. You actually had a point there. Yeah, they knew points. That was 95%. That was an issue, dude. That was 95% for TV. That fight, I think. I don't think there was ever anything really that serious behind that.
But I have a question for you guys. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, you may ask the question, Brian.
Wouldn't you guys like to see more of that stuff, though?
What? Devin and Kyle breaking up? No,
just them. No. But the cast playing pool and just doing stuff, or is it just me? Am I the only one that's interested in that stuff?
No, I quite enjoyed the bits where they where they have the talent show on Bloodlines, or when they're playing Flip Club last season. I don't want loads. I really like 30-second snippets of them having fun around the house and doing stupid things. Be all and end of it. The wonderful Devin Simone's funeral wig funeral for Tamara. That is hilarious. Does nothing to the game. It's just weird house activity. But that gets discussed more than a lot of other all-time eliminations, what I've seen on the Reddit. So yes, more random house shenanigans. Oh, Levi, new potential segment.
Do you know what's also quite random? They've got a gym on the outside and gym on the inside. And the next thing we see is Emmy and Gabo in the inside gym. And they're both super sad. Oh, sad Emmy and sad Gabo, because they're on the chopping block. And Emmy feels like Gabo is always having fun, but she's not. She is being miserable. She is being a miserable bitch. But she thinks he needs to take things more seriously. Gabo feels bad vibes. That's what I wrote. I really, really paraphrased that scene.
I love the idea of a Romanian rapper with blue hair telling somebody else they need to be more serious. It's just this show is just the best, man. It's the best show.
Brian, what's your favorite Emmy track? Because you've been listening to some Emmy as well.
Yeah, the one you did today, the Tony Montana.
Tony Montana one, yeah.
Oh, that or Karma.
Not Hannah's dad. Not Hannah Montana's dad. Interesting.
Well, I love also shout out to her for the only 2 American lyrics in any of her songs being Hannah Montana and Tony Montana, and they're on 2 totally different songs. She's not rhyming them. Anyways, Emmy rules.
Yeah, I love Emmy.
I do. She gets on my nerves.
But you like Gabo.
I do like Gabo. So actually, really story about Gabo from this week. Apparently, Devin and Kyle were chatting strategy with him at some point, and apparently just halfway through the conversation, he goes, "You mind if I go work out my triceps?" And just wanders off and goes and does a gym.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's so weird. Was that in your article, Brian?
No, that was on. I think Banana said that on his podcast.
Nice. But yeah, actually, it might
He
be
had the K-Dog on.
Yeah, I need to listen to that. I actually quite like his podcast.
That's what Kyle said that. That's what Kyle's story. Yeah,
got it.
His
podcast. I think I read it in Alan Aguirre, friend of the show, Alan Aguirre's article. So I do need to go listen to the Bananas pod because it was very, very good. Sorry for cheating on you, Brian.
But not best friend like Brian Batty.
Yeah.
So
Brian was our first friend of the pod.
I know. Basically, just so I don't have to, chop this up and edit it and spend the rest of my life doing that before I upload it. What we're basically saying is Emmy and Gabo are fucked and they are sad about it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Time to do a link. The alarm goes off and it's time for the agents to head down to the mission to join TJ. So, I didn't edit the one from the other week. They're not struggling with their footing this time, but they're still heading down there. So let's find out from TJ exactly what's in store. So mission minefield. The agents have to come together while working apart. Very nice, TJ. The agents start at their detonation station, race through various obstacles to find puzzle pieces, last pieces in a safe, which they have to have their partner solve a maths problem to open. We'll talk about that later. Then they bring all the pieces together, put together a cube puzzle. Winner is the agency, or as George likes to call them,
a couple.
Okay, so first of all,
it's my new favorite running joke.
First of all, how much do we love TJ? I love that bit where Devon's like, I was born in the mud because he thought it was funny, and TJ just went, this is true. He is a pig.
That got me. I had to pause because I think I was laughing at that for about 2.5 minutes solidly. On a train, actually, so I think I probably looked like I was losing my mind. But he's just so witty and deadpan. It's such a good combination.
Mm-hmm. It was the cadence of how he said it. It was almost as good as the cadence of Emmy saying her name in Tony Montana.
Oh, don't know about that, but yeah, this is true. He is a pig. I will be using that as often as possible over the next few weeks. That better be Devon's new T-shirt.
New T-shirt for Weird Devon Walker. This is true. I am a pig.
You should definitely message him that idea. Please.
I think We Are Devon Walker actually follows me on Instagram. So should I just message the T-shirt company? Yeah.
Nice. No, I'll do it. That was my idea. I want to be friends with Devon.
No, but you're going to end up.
Did you guys seriously just stop the podcast to go check your phones to see if Devon's T-shirt company follows you?
No, I never stopped it. Actually. We're still going. I was just hoping someone would.
I have a question. Levi, can you say the last thing that you said before we started recording? The last sentence you said. Can you say that again? I forgot what it was.
I can, but I can say it. But I'll say it a bit later in the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now he's excited.
Since you guys are checking your phones, I figured I'd just ask a question in the middle of recording. Like, what the hell just happened?
Shall I just put on some more of Emmy's rap music? But do you know what?
Guys,
was great?
This is shit content.
But do you know what was great content? Do you know what was great content? The greatest content of all time. Priscilla's on the screen. She's explaining the mission.
I don't get this right. She apparently is in the top 3 for like most confessionals from this season. I don't remember one of the things she said.
All her confessionals are her just explaining challenges.
She's got a great voice.
I really like her. I want to see more of her. I think she's really intelligent. And I want to know what she's doing in the game.
Look at this from an edit point of view. We'll try and give a shout out to Jake.
All right, Jake.
Why because they normally don't put people in front and center unless it's their elimination episode, right? That's when rookies get loads of screen time. But Priscilla's been consistently in front of us,
Something just fell off my desk.
Sorry,
something just fell off my desk. Carry on talking.
Get out. I'm trying to give us content to make up for you and me checking our phones. Sorry, Brian, but the fact that we're at least like seeing her so that we get used to her and it's working. Levi's starting to like her and want to see more of her. I think she flies under the radar for the first bit of the season and then does something massive. Or like has a breakout and goes on like a pre-elimination win streak or something. But we're getting her now for a reason.
Or like she wins, like Amber, Like,
it could be, yeah.
I fixed the thing that broke.
God, you're really, really bad at reacting to other people's viewpoints.
Sorry, no, I get. You know what it is? Okay, and you've said this to me before that you've like got undiagnosed ADHD. I think I'm just very easily distracted. It's like I'll be talking and
Levi, look, something shiny.
Ah, what? Sorry. What? Hold on. Why have you got a dinosaur fossil head?
I'll tell you off pod. It's not great content. I think I brought it when I was drunk.
Fair enough.
It's meant for holding pens.
Oh, nice. Don't smash it the same way that Emmanuel smashed the challenge.
Okay, that's the best one of the episodes so far. He's just really good at a lot of things. He is really good. Yeah.
Do you remember how we joked that he was like a tattooed Camden version of Jordan?
Yeah.
I think he might be.
The first joke of the season was like, he's a... it's the can we get X from the store, and it's like, we have X at home, and they do that with the Jordan and Emmanuel things. But he might be as good. I mean, that's obviously a bit of say Jordan is one of the all-time greats.
Yeah,
Jordan is one of the all-time greats, obviously. But I don't see any gaps in his game so far. Has he shown any weaknesses?
B squared, what do you think?
Well, what's my quick question is what's his knowledge of law? Because if the bar exam pops up, that may be his downfall. No, I don't know. It's just it just seems so like the only thing we've seen from him is everybody else telling us how awesome he is. It's like the only content we've got. Like I haven't seen him I guess we saw him eat once, I think, and
Michelle hugged him on a sun lounger.
Yeah, but I don't know, the only content we're getting is how awesome he is. So if you keep telling me he's awesome, I'm just gonna think he's awesome. That's fine, but I'd like to see him dance some more. I know we're gonna get to it, but I do have one little nitpick for him later on when we get to the club scene, but I'll save that.
I'm guessing it's that he doesn't know a good dancer when he sees one. He just... What I don't want to see him do when he dances, though, is fall over and dislocate a shoulder. Because we've already got that in this episode because Aneesa falls off a wall.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
I don't want to be rude.
It bums me out. I'm bummed.
It doesn't bum me out.
Aren't the biggest fan. Bums me out.
Do you know? Oh no, I can't say this because I think it's going to sound really horrible.
Say it.
Because it's a freak accident, but a lot of people train for the challenge, but it is a freak accident.
And what have you helped say? I don't know exactly where she dislocates her shoulder. It would not be from. Such a twat.
The worst thing is Brian looked at his phone and didn't see that great visual gag.
Listen, okay, I'm looking down at the running order so I can be freaking prepared.
Do you know what he's doing? He's messaging "We Are Devon Walker," so it's his t-shirt idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm messaging a t-shirt company.
I think Alan Aguirre says this as well, better than I will, but it's she definitely doesn't do it from landing on the ground. It looks like it comes as she slips off the wall, and she hasn't got a straight zone.
I thought it was when she was on the ground, she tried to push herself up and it popped out.
Oh, if it's that, then she should not be on a physical show. That's just
it's just probably a combination of a lot of things,
What I've just also realized is by saying what I said, I'm absolutely the world's biggest hypocrite because I've dislocated my shoulder and torn my rotator cuff by leaning on a chair.
Yeah. Also,
what?
Yeah.
Oh well, guys, I tore a muscle in my shoulder fist pumping on my 22nd birthday. Shout out to Gabo.
Were you hanging out with Gabo and Mike the Situation?
No, dude. It was right when season 2 of Jersey Shore was happening. So it was the hottest shit in the world. I don't remember even going to the bar, but I woke up the next morning in a ton of pain and I was miserable. And my girlfriend at the time was yeah, I mean, you just were fist pumping on the dance floor. We could not get you off of the dance floor. And so, yeah, I went to the doctor and I tore this muscle right here. Pretty cool stuff. So I get it. Also, back to kind of your point though, Nicole also dislocated her shoulder last season, something like this?
Yeah, by being attacked.
Fighting on top of a moving truck and getting thrown off into a net. That is
not falling 2 feet off a wall.
She fell 3 feet off a wall.
Okay, but if you fall 3 feet in the wrong way, it doesn't matter.
George, next thing you know, Brian's going to be having a go at Liv as well for hurting herself, being attacked by someone.
I'm not having a go. You guys are the ones having a go. I'm not having a go at anybody. I'm just like, let's just.
Next, Brian's going to say that Lolo made Nam's first season really fun for him.
Oh, she was the best, dude. You know what? The only thing this season's missing, to be honest, Lolo Jones. That's it. Yeah, that's the only thing this season's missing. She was amazing. What do you guys mean?
No, do you know what it is missing? It's missing Aneesa's shoulder being properly in place. No, let's kind of just talk about this because mid mission, she goes off in an ambulance. Everyone carries on.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives a shit.
What are they going to do?
Tori.
No, Nanny jumped off the wall to go check if she was okay. Actually, it was really nice.
Are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. Nanny fucks off. Oh no, I'm not fine. Oh, Nanny's already gone. Classic Nanny, though, isn't it?
It's $1 million on the line, dude. You guys got to play. I don't. What do you mean?
About
what do you want to do? That's right, baby. They can all pretend that they're friends, but let's be real.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Aneesa later. Because I don't know, just like you say, the whole fall and how she dislocated her shoulder doesn't really add up. Speaking of adding up, none of the cast can fucking do that. Because as Devon Walker says, how is it possible that a third of the cast can't divide by 2? How do you live? Berna didn't even do maths in school. She just took circus.
Cloud.
Can I just say something? How this just sums up our love of Amber and hold on, our love of Amber and my empathy. That when I watched it and I saw that there was a maths puzzle in the challenge, I went, "Oh no, her dyscalculia."
Yeah, that's exactly my first reaction as well. Where did she come though? She didn't do all right, right?
No, you don't come first, you've come last, basically. So not first.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was like, "Oh no, Amber, I hope she's all right."
I was also feeling that, but
you know who probably wasn't? Brian.
I wasn't at all. I don't know.
Glad Aneesa's gone. You're sad. Good.
I'm sad.
Does anyone else feel like the comments on this podcast are going to be, "You all sound like you hate each other"?
Yeah, sorry, I think I'm bringing the tone down. I'm incredibly hungover and I'm being quite bitchy. I realize.
I'm into it. No, look, but the thing is, guys, is challengers not doing well at academia is not a new thing.
No.
So this is how it always goes.
Are they still speaking Dutch in Australia, by the way? Do you reckon Johnny found it really weird when he met D? Who must not be named.
I was going to say, how good is trivia going to be with the cast? They can't do multiple choice or true or false. It has to be they can answer whatever they want.
I think they might have to because they can't ask a lot of the questions that they usually ask. Just considering how the fuck is Emmanuel going to know who Britney Spears dated or whatever?
Because he was probably her choreographer.
I was going to say he was a backup dancer. Yeah,
yeah.
He was banging her
guys. We'll get there. Like I said, I have quite the nitpick for Emmanuel later on.
But yeah, that maths was a big issue with this challenge. But fortunately for CT, Berna did a couple of maths tutor sessions during her time in the circus because they are the second team back to start solving the puzzle. I've forgotten who the first ones were, but it doesn't really matter because
Emmanuel and Fessy.
But that doesn't really matter because CT's fucking bossing puzzles and absolutely smashes it.
Apparently as well, Berna had to run back and forth 4 or 5 times and would just tell CT what she was reading and he would do the maths for her. That's the only way.
Classic.
Okay.
Using the rules to your advantage.
This leads me right into something. I think this is the only time I'm going to be able to get the window, so I have to ask you guys.
Because you two Brits won't shut up.
That is what that sounded like, to be fair.
Well, it's not what I meant, but you're not wrong. But this is a little big picture. What can you guys explain to me? And I'm serious, and I understand. Don't just give me the surface level answer because I get it. Okay, relax. Why has no one gone after CT yet?
I think
Vets Alliance.
It's this Vets Alliance first. I think it's dumb because what they should have used was use the most threatening rookies to try and take 3 shots at him. That's what I would have done.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Vet Alliance, Schmet Alliance, can I be honest with you? It doesn't, if he's there, what's the difference?
Yeah.
He's just going to beat you. Like, why do they think that they're going to like, and then if the plan is like, well, we'll just make a move later, do you think CT's not going to like see it coming?
Yeah,
I don't get it. I don't understand why I just don't get it. I need a real answer other than Vet Alliance. I really do because
but we say this every season. No one fucking does it. They're all scared of him because they know if he comes back.
Last season.
They know if he comes back. No, they tried to block him from going into elimination. They didn't try and get rid of him.
No, they did right away. Remember the first elimination of the season was about getting him out. Like,
but they fucked that one up.
Well, it didn't work out. They took their shot though. Like, what the hell are they waiting for? Like, like, if you're going to tell me their goal is to win, then pretending CT is just another cast member is directly against that. And it's driving me nuts.
Can I say something? Because I have no answer. The Vet Alliance is ruining my enjoyment of this season.
They're killing me. I want to watch my friends play. I'm sick of, I don't care about
There was no point.
There
was no point getting these rookies in just for them to be all eliminated in the first 8 episodes.
Yeah,
you may as well have just had a cast of the vets and just had half a season.
The way to fix this is to remove that you vote individual players down for the second team. If they had to go down with the teams they were in, they could still swap. That fixes this season because some vets are going to have to go in.
Do you think they'll do
that?
I go
the other way. No, but I go the other way though. I think that production kind of did this on purpose because like what this is doing is it's forcing the rookies to play. Like it's forcing the new people to like get involved naturally. Whereas like they're not letting the vets suffocate the time. So they're letting them grow. And like, it's a survival of the fittest thing. Like the ones that got eliminated, like who cares? You know, it's like, you got to earn it a little bit. So like, I wouldn't know anything about Coriel probably if there wasn't this heavy emphasis on the rookies to go in at the beginning. But now like, he's kind of like almost a bit of like a complex character because like they forced it on us. Like they didn't let them just sit back. So I actually kind of go the other way. I don't mind it.
Did you miss last week's episode? You know, Coriel's been eliminated.
No, I know, but I'm just using that as an example. Like in his time though, he was so forced to play the game. Same with Kels. Like same with Michelle, like they were forced to play. Whereas like, if they didn't do it this way, maybe they would have just kind of,
I just find it a bit frustrating because it's causing all of the rookies to play on the defense. So we're not actually seeing much offensive play from them. And then obviously when they don't win, they just get overly frustrated. I mean, Emmy had her usual post-mission meltdown because they didn't win. But I thought it was really nice actually going back to CT. He gave her this really, really nice little pep talk.
I mean, she's the same. She could theoretically be his daughter. She's the right age today. He probably feels quite fatherly towards her.
Did he do a season in Romania 23 years ago?
He was in Real World Paris, right? He could have been.
That's true.
Some visitors. Although, God, CT would actually look really good with blue hair. He's the new hot guy this season, right?
Oh my God. One thing about this challenge, we got to see CT with the top off.
Just a bit dad body.
No. You give him credit where it's due.
He's in great shape for a 40-year-old bloke, but he's not like he's got abs.
What, George? Have you broken?
A little bit. What are we talking about? I'm really tired. I've broken Brian.
Oh my God. Brian is currently breaking me when it comes to editing him in this box.
I'm sorry. Shots fired. Jesus.
Does anyone remember that comment that Devin made about Gabo and Emmy? Because I can't remember it word for word, but it was fucking brilliant.
Oh, he said he just because they look like they've both murdered someone in their life, that bond doesn't like make a strong bond. I thought that was hilarious.
That was absolutely. He's such a good narrator. But why is this going to be a weekly thing where Emmy starts crying after every mission?
I hope so. I'm really enjoying it.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Not because I want to see her sad, but I think the emotions give her like that chance to really think about how she's feeling, which I think is going to help the writing process and give us more and more Emmy bangers.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That's what we kind of want from Emmy, isn't it, Brian?
You're looking from a lens of promoting her music career.
Yeah, a little bit. Absolutely, inspiration. Cook up, and then she's bored, so she's definitely just cooking up lyrics and melodies in her head. So like, let's go, let's do this thing. I can't wait.
Would anyone
challenge banger album?
Do you know what I quite like to see? A song, Emmy Lupe featuring Edison.
Who?
Ed.
Oh, Ed. Agent Ed.
Tammy's son.
Does he sing?
No, but that's why I'm quite excited for it.
Why would he be in the song?
Because he's Ed. He can do anything. He's so enthusiastic.
No. Okay. I thought I was missing something.
Can we call something out here? Eva, this is just our standard thing if we're going over. But did we not enjoy this mission, can I assume? Because we're barely speaking about it.
I did.
It was fun. Yeah. I like the mission. I didn't like everything that preceded and followed it. It was like, if this episode was just this mission in isolation, I'd have been like, fucking great episode, lads. Let's do a podcast.
And I would not join that podcast.
No.
Yes, you would, because you got to see Logan San Pedro without a top on.
Good looking cat. Yeah.
Not according to George. According to George, he's average.
Yeah. Except despite what George says, he's hot. So, CT doesn't have abs. Logan's not hot. I have high expectations.
Yeah. Anyway, this is descended into madness, and I need a wee, so I'm going to link into a clip so I can pause it, and I'm keeping that in. So CT and Burner win the mission, but of course it's not official until it's announced by TJ. So let's head back to the mission and get the final result from the man himself. So back at the house, Josh has found a new friend, and it is none other than the gorgeous Logan San Pedro. Logan hopes that Aneesa's injury isn't that bad, but he's being a realist. If you go off in an ambulance, you're probably fucked, is basically what he said. He tells Josh that he wants to go into elimination, but Josh tells Logan it's a bad idea because Josh has no more friends except for Logan at this point. You guys call it.
It is a bad idea. He's right. It worked out. Spoiler alert, I think. But bad idea.
As in spoiler for this episode, not spoilers going forward. We are non-spoiler podcast.
Yeah. No, I have no idea what's going on. But yes, for this episode, it worked out. But he's right. Why would it? Yes, you don't say that ever. Because now here's the thing. He did win, but now everyone's like, well, you wanted to go on before and going again. So it's easy justification later on. I don't think that was what Josh's point was, but that's kind of how I interpreted it.
Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news?
Bad news first.
Damn it, we didn't plan this. Well, the good news is Aneesa's back at the house. Bad news is she's got a dislocated shoulder and can't continue in the game. And Tori reacts like someone in her family has just died. It was a bit over the top, this whole scene.
There's actually a really interesting bit from Death, Taxes and Bananas Day, which does slightly explain, I haven't listened to this week's one, but he said it 2 weeks ago, but it explains why a lot of what we see is so over the top, because you're in such a condensed environment with these people that you feel like you kind of love them after a couple of weeks and every one of your reactions is dialed up to 11. And so I think Tori's probably quite emotional anyway, so I think that does explain why she completely loses her mind on this one.
But it was she didn't act like that when was there ever a season where Jordan got eliminated before her? I'll tell you what, she did not act like that in Dirty 30 when Derek Henry got eliminated.
Total madness as well. Jordan gets injured and eliminated at the same time.
and she was not as emotional.
No, she went home
first.
She went home the week before him because Jordan screaming at her during the elimination of Jenna.
Okay, well, in Dirty 30, when Derek Henry went home, there was not a tear shed by Tori.
Yeah, because back then Tori was a real person. Now she's just, everything she does is dramatic and over the top. Like, she doesn't even know how to, like, I bet when she makes a PB&J, it's like a fucking mess. Like, I bet her counter is a mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything she does has to be dramatic. I don't know. Whatever. Tori sucks.
Yeah, she acts super dramatic. and then Logan acts like the hot, sensitive guy that he is. Little kiss on the forehead, says something in Spanish.
Holds her shoulder quite a lot.
Oh, it's like Michi and Liv from last year. Don't touch me arm.
Oh God, don't ever do that accent again. I was watching a show and everyone who goes to come for her puts their hand on her shoulder. It's like, you're all idiots. Stop it.
Well, they're just making sure. They're making sure that she's so injured. But yeah, Aneesa cries a lot now she's gone, which leads us to... Oh, no, sorry, that's a bit harsh. We please she's gone?
I don't care. I don't want to be rude. She doesn't
add anything to the challenge anymore.
Not for me.
That was the most British way you've ever asked a question. I didn't understand you. What was the question?
When?
What was the question you posed?
Is that how do we feel about Aneesa going home? Right. Sorry, I forgot I had to translate for some of our American audience.
No, it's okay. Your accent made it all sound like one big ball of sound, so I didn't quite get it. I'm sad. I don't know. I'm bummed. I like Aneesa. It's better having her around than not, I guess. But
is it though?
I think so. But I see what your guys' like point is. I get it.
She's not added anything this season as far as drama, as far as fun, as far as strategy, as far as anything. She's just been there.
Yeah, but like you're when you're a kid, your favorite stuffed animal doesn't really add anything either. It's just there. You know, it's more of a comfort thing for me. You know, I like just having her around.
But why? Like she takes the chance away from someone else for $1 million.
I mean, what is she really taking? Okay,
I know what she is. Sorry, small bit of economics on the podcast. Opportunity costs of having Aneesa on is that say $100,000 they spend on casting they can't spend on someone else. That is anyone you want on there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember distinctly arguing this exact point with you like months ago when I was like, when you were talking about your buddy Nicole, and I was like,
she's not my buddy, she's your buddy, Brian.
I said
you went on a Zoom date with her, but it was actually me doing a voice.
When I said, why would they cast someone that that they don't think is going to win? And you were like, well, they have to cast people they don't think are going to win because da 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 da. And I was like, well, that's stupid. And you were like, well, da 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 da. So now you're like, why are they even casting Aneesa if she doesn't even have a chance to win? I don't know. You tell me.
Sorry, I'm just deleting that episode off the podcast feed, so it can't be proved.
That's also not what we said. We said they had a limited budget for casting, and
they spent all the money on the Americans.
Yeah. So,
yeah, but I specifically remember asking, like, what's the point of casting if, like, they don't think that they've got a chance to, like, win and be a person?
Okay, do you know what it's like?
I'm just saying.
It's like fantasy football, yeah? You put a really good player in who's going to cost a lot of money, and then you've not got much money left, so you just spend it on someone who's just going to be there. That's what Nicole Bass was. But Aneesa is like, the amount that she costs is like the amazing player who you want to get you loads of points, but she's not going to get you loads of points.
Okay, but like, how do you know how much she like? What are you saying? What are you talking about? How much she costs? Like, how do we know? We don't know.
Yeah, we do. There's a tiered season for MTV for paying cast members. It's based on how many seasons you're on.
Yeah. Okay, and
that's why he's my co-host.
Okay.
Yeah. High five, Levi.
Listen,
Brits.
Where did that information come from? Where did you get that information? Like from
probably the Reddit
executives of.
It's from the Reddit, but it's in loads of like Us Weekly things. and
hold up,
they've
sorry.
got challenges.
Is it called Us Weekly? I was thought it was called US Weekly.
It's a really good question.
No, George was right.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah.
What the fuck
I
just
don't
happened?
know why I'm getting so like worked up about Aneesa. I don't care that much, but I just like I do see the value in having her around. And like when you say like she's taking away another person's chance at $1 million, it's like, I mean, is she? They don't even want to get CT out, so it doesn't matter. CT's taking away everyone's chance at $1 million by existing.
Is it different for you though, Brian? Because you've watched this. So, like, since live on air, we've grown up with Aneesa's like your 5th longest relationship, isn't she?
Yes,
I think
yes. I mean, that's a huge part of it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But like, I'm sure there's a lot of people like me who like just kind of like having Aneesa around because she's been around in our life for 20 years. You know, like, I don't know, I'm cool with it. Like, it's not like she's a boring person. She's, you know. Oh, fair enough. But like she's not like she used to be. Like she's obviously a little more mature and not gonna be like out here.
She keeps walking in on people.
Shit.
She keeps walking in on people when they're showering naked, uninvited. I don't want like.
And that's
like
Aneesa, man. I mean, that's just who she is. But she was doing that shit on her Real World season. So it's like, it's just nice to having her around. I don't know why I'm sticking up for her so hard. I don't really care that much. Like
you sound like you care, Brian.
But you know what I mean. I'm just giving you the other side of it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Ultimately, she's gone. Anyway, so now comes our favorite thing. I loved it in one of your articles, Brian, where one of the losers was the igloo from last year. Because it is time for, let's see if we can all do it together. 1, 2, 3, Club Night. We can't all do it together. They go to the absolutely lovely club, better than the igloo. And the greatest thing in challenge history happens. Ed dances like an absolute boss. Tammy Eason, you should be proud of your son. But Emmanuel, like the shit Bruno Tonioli that he is, says that Ed needs dancing lessons. How fucking dare you?
So this was my nitpick. This is kind of what I wanted to talk about for a second. So like if I were up at the park as I do and just shooting hoops, getting shots up, like I love like going in the morning and putting on rap music, just kind of zenning out and like getting
Romanian rap music.
Sometimes now, yes, much more now than ever. But if like Steph Curry walked up to the court and was like, yeah, man, I don't know, you need to take jump shot lessons. I'd be like, listen, bro, isn't Emmanuel a professional dancer? Like, isn't that his job? Okay, yes, dude. Emmanuel. Well, if fucking Ed from the circle wants to dance, don't be like, oh, I think he needs dancing lessons. Dude, it's your job. It's literally your job to dance. So of course you would know how to dance better than Agent Ed. Sorry for that rant.
That was a one. I have 3 points. That was one, a great rant. I enjoyed how like I could actually sense the hate coming out of you.
I was upset about that. Yeah.
If Steph Curry said that to you, that is 100% not how you'd react. You'd be like, "Oh my God, Steph Curry! Can I have?"
Oh yeah, I'd piss myself. I'd just pee all over. I'd be like one of Levi's kids. I'd just pee down my leg. Like I would just like, this is the best thing that ever happened.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're aligned on that one. And the third one is, I kind of agree with you, but it's not really. It's clearly meant as a joke, throwaway line. I think we should get that worked up about it.
No.
It wasn't funny though, was it?
If Emmanuel was trying his hand at some energy consulting, and I saw him and I said, "No, need some energy consulting lessons," not quite as funny, but I don't think it's too big a deal. Sorry, I'm now picturing a client call on Monday where I dial in. It's Emmanuel trying to work out how to optimize his business, and I just be like, "This is fucking weird."
Just trying to shadow somebody.
Yeah, go sit and take the bar exam and come back to me.
Do you know who's got a lot of energy? Ed in his dance moves.
Agent Ed.
Anyway, so
move the hand up.
Speaking of fist pumping, old Gabo from the Warsaw Shore is talking to Emmy from Rap Music about how they're not. Sorry. This is what happens when your friends come around to play. We all just show off. So Gabo and Emmy from the rapping talk about not being good partners. Gabo basically says, yeah, you're shit, I want Nanny back. And Emmy's like, sounds good. So Gabo goes and tells Nanny he wants to go into elimination, get her back. Thinks it's a guys only elimination because remember Aneesa, she's gone. And Nanny basically says, Gabo needs to not underestimate himself. I feel like I'm going to put on my Jake hat. I feel like the editors are setting up a little Gabo versus Logan elimination for us.
No, but she's right, though.
Gabo would be so proud.
He's definitely the type of person. I bet he does it all the time. Like, I guarantee he's the type of person who underestimates himself, like, walking across the street. He wasn't, like, that stupid. Like, he said he was stupider than he was.
Yeah. He's, as I said, he's Kyle's first season without the charm. Can I just quickly say something? Because we were just talking about Jake. Brian, didn't you and Jake do a little collab over on your Medium?
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did a mailbag. We just kind of emailed back and forth over a couple days, pre-episode, post-episode, and then a little bit later that night. It was a lot of fun. It was a little long, but it was a good read. If you want to check out my Medium page, it's on there.
brianrbatty.medium.com.
That's correct. That's correct.
Back to the running order.
What I was gonna say? What was I just saying? It doesn't matter. Move on. I forgot.
About Gabo underestimating himself.
Oh yeah. He's the type of person, like, because even when he was like, I got popcorn muscles, like, I don't know, like, he did really well in any strength-based thing. So it seemed like he probably didn't have popcorn muscles.
I have more to discuss on that one later. We won't jump around.
Well, let's move to Devon's discussion with Logan, because he's heard on the grapevine from all the shit stirrers in the house that Logan wants to go in. And Devon says, it's the best thing for you. Go in, Logan. Get yourself a strong partner, because right now you don't actually have a partner. And then I just love this little round table between Devon, CT, and Kyle, who are basically like, yeah, Logan wants to put himself in. And Devon's like, yeah, let's give the vets a big pat on the back for how easy we've made it for ourselves. CT says, this is easy for me. I don't have to get blood on my hands. And Kyle goes,
ridiculous.
Have these rookies forgotten that there's no gold skull twist this season?
That is...
What? But is there no gold cut? Is there no skull twist?
There's no.
Do you think that's some edgic?
Is there no skull twist?
I don't know. I don't read spoilers.
Here's the deal. I don't either. But I'm just saying, would you put it past them to have said, like, at the end, be like, look, man, if you didn't go into elimination, you don't get to go to the final. There's been skull twists this whole time. Would you put it past them? I don't think that's going to happen, but
it's not impossible. I don't see it happening. I also do. It's a Kyle, very, very funny, good joke. He could also be right.
That was sarcastic.
No, it was. It is very funny, but he could also be right. These rookies would not have had too long to watch the. No, Brian, I'm not agreeing with your point. It's stupid.
Best friends, guys. We're all best friends. We all like each other.
We're the second. This roundtable of Devon, CT, and Kyle is the second best roundtable. We're the best, but the rookies have only watched like one or two seasons of this before they came on. They watched from where everyone had to go into elimination. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they do think it's actually how the game works. I think there's a chance that some of them do think they have to go into elimination.
Can we also talk about every season we think Devon, Kyle, and CT are an alliance, and CT always screws over Kyle?
Duh. This is what I was talking about earlier. Why are they just treating him like another, whatever? Yeah.
Do you think because he's lost weight and looks hot, they've just forgotten he's CT? Oh, who's this new guy? This new hot guy?
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's confusing.
Speaking of new hot guys, back at the house, Logan possibly bangs Big T.
No, get that possibly out of here, buddy. Say what you said earlier when we took a break and weren't recording. Say the sentence.
Time to put up or shut up, Levi.
I can't remember what the sentence is. Can someone text it to me and then I'll say it?
I'll do it now.
No.
Do you know what's really bad? I nearly had a slip of the tongue there and I nearly said Logan possibly bangs Big T. Oh yeah, apparently I said Logan fucked Big T. Who knows? Maybe
it's so vulgar.
Maybe
I
he
just wanted
did.
you to say it out loud.
Maybe he didn't. We don't know. All we know is Logan's good with his hands, and according to him, Big T is like an octopus. I don't know what that means.
I think it has something to do with ink.
That was so stupid. No, all we know is that one of Big T's tentacles made its way into Logan's undergarments.
One of Logan's testing. Anyway, next morning, Big T and Logan are having a romantic breakfast together. And if there's a romantic breakfast, who is the person that's going to come over and ruin the romance?
Kyle.
The K-Dog.
That is one of my favorite confessions of the time. It's like, oh, Logan, I just want you to get into my undergarment.
I don't want to get into your undergarments. I just want to do puzzles all day. I love the fact that during this impression, Kyle changed Logan from being Spanish to being French.
I thought he sounded Russian. This was all over the place.
I'll tell you what he didn't sound. Spanish. And then I just love the bit where he's like, do you like him? And Big T's like, I like everyone except you. And then she goes outside and then Carl's like staring at her and just goes,
That was very, very good.
I love Kyle and Big T together. They need more scenes.
I enjoyed that entire scene. This was very, very entertaining.
Do you think they banged?
Who?
Logan and Big T.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least finger blasted.
Oh, for fuck's sake. And then in the same kitchen, allegedly exactly the same time, with none of the people there that were actually there in the previous scene, Casey and Josh are having a conversation, but it all gets blown out of proportion because Josh says all he does is play for the Big Brother Alliance for all of them, and Casey's just like, yeah, mate, I'm over this now.
My biggest issue with that, and I made this point in my recap, it's like, dude, Josh, if Casey's doing the dishes, like, don't like come at her then. Like, let her finish doing chores. Like, what the hell is the matter with you? Like, wait until she's done.
She could have been washing a knife.
You pick up on the weirdest things, Brian.
I mean, like, think about the living situation, dude. Like, I hate when my kitchen's dirty. Like, imagine just like going to be like, listen, I just want an apple, and the kitchen's fucking filthy. Like, Casey's doing the dishes, dude. Let her help contribute to the greater good. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk game right now. She just wants to get rid of the germs from the cutlery.
And God forbid, you know, like, it's not like she was just sitting outside and being like a jerk. Like Josh like came at her. And I'm boring George to death with my dishes, dog.
I just, you know what? Okay.
I was really bored there.
I do feel sorry for Casey, because what we've learned over the last 2 seasons is she can't just go in the kitchen and get on with what she wants to get on with without someone getting in her business. If it's CT about putting the pizza on the stove, if it's Josh about, oh, I'm playing this for you, oh, can you wash up my plate? Poor Casey.
No, that one was on her. The first one, CT's. Dude, you got to make it fast. Like, you got to make it fast with 11 people. I lived with 9 other people one time for a summer. It was 10 guys in one house who smelled so bad.
Filth. Pure filth.
But the end of the night, like, kitchen, like, the minutes, you don't get to just, it's not just yours, you know? Like, you got to keep it moving. You can't use the oven and the stovetop, like one or the other. Make your food, get out. Like, I get where CT was coming from there.
I'm just imagining Brian standing at the door, just being like, "Come on, people, licking those fingers."
It's basically like full Chef Ramsay. You fucking donut, get out of my kitchen.
Oh man, I wish.
You just want to get rid of people one by one, don't you? To do that on the challenge, though, is to nominate them into elimination.
Hold on, this is quite a big thing that has just happened, though. Is the Big Brother Alliance completely over?
They're just arguing for one episode and then they're all back together. Let's be honest.
It doesn't make sense for
maybe 2 episodes. Maybe 2 episodes.
Well, but Josh has got other options now because he's friends with Devon.
No, but they're not really friends.
Or is this one of like Devon's amazing long cons? he could use this, and then he can get Josh to throw a shot at Fessy and Casey. Because you want
Josh just a pawn in everyone's game, and he doesn't.
Yes, because he puts himself in that situation, though. He doesn't
Josh
want
just
to be.
wants to be led. He just wants friends.
Yeah, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're also forgetting there's a very good scene where Devin and Josh are talking, and they're like, "What's our best chance to win? Run a final against each other because we're both quite shit." Is that how this starts? Well, I mean,
they're not wrong. They're right, but also, but then get rid of CT.
Who'd win a final against each other? Devin, Josh, and Kyle. Yeah, I just wanted to hear it. Anyway, so next thing, they go into nominations, and it seems to us, and it seems to them, like it's just going to be a nice, calm elimination. Logan wants to go in, Gabo wants to go in. They're both rookies. It's very simple. Aneesa's gone home, so it's probably just a guy versus guy. So CT says, look, no funny business. It's probably a guy's day. There's probably no girls going in. It's two guys who want to go in. Logan gets his Spanish accent back that Carl took away from him and says, look, I want to go in, but I don't want to be the house vote because I'm worried CT won't send Gabo in. Now, if anyone knows how CT plays the game within the first half of the season, if he's in power and he says he's going to do something, he does it, and he does the easiest thing that's not going to get him into trouble. So by saying, CT saying, I'm going to send Gabo in, he's obviously going to send Gabo in.
Yeah, completely agree. There's no... Because the only other way this goes down, right, is if it was anyone else in power of CT, the one thing I'd be worried about is when someone taking that shot at CT. But that's the only other time to make this play.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing, if he was going to lie, the only thing he'd probably do is just fuck Carl over for a laugh.
Oh, God, that would be really funny. But no, I don't even consider that. That'd be sad. But yeah,
but I mean,
you also got to consider with Logan, too, where he learned the game from. He's partners with Aneesa, who plays paranoid and mistrustful all the time.
Miss her already.
And she's broken.
But what I'm saying is that's who he learned from. And so she probably said to him, don't trust CT like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So he probably was like, he probably did think like, I don't trust you to do what I want, which I get. But you're right.
But you know what? Like, when you need someone to just speak up and just speak sense, it's really good if they just say it and then they stop talking, as opposed to then making it all about themselves. Because then Fessy goes, oh, no, why would CT do that? He's not going to blow up his game. He said he's going to vote in Gabo. It's an easy vote for him. Gabo wants to go in. Why would he blow up his game? Because we've all been playing a really straight game so far. And then the sassy Amber crown got passed in this moment as Amber M disappeared from our lives whilst handing over the crown of sassiness to the champion of the challenge. And Amber B turns to the Fessy and she says, straight game.
Fessy.
Really? You're saying we're playing a straight game now? And Fessy's like, you really want to do this here? No. We'll do it later. As if saying, we'll do it on my terms, Fessy. I love you, Amber. You tell him. I love you, Amber.
I am glad she called that out, because before she even started speaking, I was shouting at the TV going, what the hell are you on about? So yes.
And I love that they were next to each other as well. Well done, Challenge Production.
Yeah, that was good. I wonder if what they were thinking about that.
It's nice to see her stick up for herself.
Yes. Brian?
Say something nice, Brian, please.
You're looking very thoughtful.
No, like I said, I'm constantly fascinated by her. I just don't understand, like, why doesn't she act more like a champion? I don't know. I don't get it. Like it's almost like she doesn't even believe it, kind of.
Do you know what, though? It's hard for her because she wasn't even in the original cast. Like, first of all, it's fucking bullshit that Jenny didn't get cast last season and Amber didn't get first cast this season, because they're champions. And I think that has almost fed into what you're saying of why is she not acting like a champion? Well, she's not getting treated like a champion. she's a fucking champion. She deserved to win it, and good on her
Why
for
doesn't she
calling
just
out
say that?
Fessy. Good on her for calling out Fessy for being an absolute cock and a liar.
Why doesn't she say that? Like, I wish she would say like I have what all of you want. Like, fuck you guys. Like, because no one, other than her, Ashley, and CT, no one else has won shit.
Do you know what?
Cast.
It's a shame that they don't like give them rings when they win, and then she could just turn to Fessy and go, "You will never get this. You will never get this."
Yes, I want them to do that so bad. We talked about this. They should have a fucking belt. Like, she should have gotten out of that Ferrari with a fucking championship belt.
Oh,
like
cool.
and then she could wear that to Deliberation or whenever the fuck she wants because she's the champion. I don't know. I wish she just had a little more, because it's just, I don't know. Maybe like it comes from, but you're probably right. It probably does stem from coming in late. But I don't know. I just wish she just, like, even her sticking up for herself, like you said, it didn't seem genuine. It just seemed like more of her sort of still questioning why, like, I don't know. It didn't seem so straightforward as you're making it.
I am going to disrespectfully disagree with you here. That felt like the moment she found her voice and finally stuck up for herself against the bully. Not saying Fessy is a bully in real life, but I'm saying a metaphorical representation of a bully in the game.
He is in the game. He's a game bully for sure. Absolutely. He has been. He has been since last season. He's definitely a game bully. But you're right.
Don't bully people, kids.
Only bully
in the challenge.
It's easier. Yeah, you can.
No, but you know what I mean? It was just a nice moment to see, and then obviously it had to end because Tori had to speak, and she's like, because if Fessy's making about himself, she needs to. So she was like, well, Gabo, you say you want to go in, and I put myself in before, and I know it's a risk. Why would you want to do that? And then K-Dog's like, in his head, sharp Torian's like, who would you choose? And this leads to the moment where you went, I thought this was going to be just quite a straightforward deliberation, because Gabo says nanny, and then our mate Huey does what we wished he'd done in deliberation last week, which is absolutely blow up. George, I'm handing this one over to you.
So I found this really funny, obviously. I didn't see the point of going off on one here. Like, I don't know whether this was a bit put upon or something, but it didn't ring entirely genuine to me. But it's just so funny when he gets angry. I just want people, I want to see him just to react to the most, like, minuscule things as possible. Like, if he ever stubs his toe live on camera, we are in for an absolute treat.
I just loved it because it seemed to come out of nowhere about absolutely nothing. And he went off on one. If you want to expose me, I'll stand on the chair. You can expose me on the chair. I love you, Huey.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I was so into it. But like, what was he talking about? Like,
I don't know.
What? Yeah. I mean, whatever, dude. He can scream and shout about anything. Like I said, like that podcast you guys did, I could have just listened to you guys talk about it. It didn't even matter. You guys could have just been making like sounds, and I would have been like, yeah, I agree. I'm into that.
I actually agree with your point though. I have no idea what was happening. If there's like,
expose what? Who was exposing it? Like, what?
No one has called you a bad person in this, but it was very, very funny. And it brought some energy to the deliberation that we needed.
I don't know why he needed to stand on the chair. He's quite tall.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. No one's taller than me.
He's like 6'1", I think.
Kels? Brian?
Yeah. I mean, is Kels taller than me? I don't know.
How tall are you?
Like 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, Kels is 6'.
No, you're not. Really?
Yeah, Brian's a big boy.
Yeah. What?
I've only ever seen you sitting down.
Have you not read his article though about him always being the tallest one in a room?
Yeah, I'm like always the tallest person in the room standing in. That's like the tall I am.
I'm going to, after the podcast, I'm going to send you guys a funny picture of me with some tall people. Anyway.
I can't wait to meet Brian and just hug him and be like, hi, Dad. Always wanted to meet you.
I would envelop the two of you. It would be great.
I reckon your height and my height, Brian, when we hug, you could literally put my head in your bosom.
Oh, yeah. That's how it usually goes.
That'd be fun. Anyway, Ashley starts losing patience with Huey and says this is going to end up causing him to go in and be voted in himself if he doesn't stop. Turns out it wasn't. I'm not going to put who voted for who up on the screen today because everyone voted for Aneesa and Logan except for Logan and Big T who voted for Gabo. I don't think there's any shocks. Is that Logan voted for Gabo because Logan already said he didn't want to be the one voted in by the House. Big T voted for Gabo because Big T is possibly banging Logan. Post-nomination, Priscilla's back. Yes, love Priscilla. Her and Big T talk. Big T says now there's a chance Logan may go home. She's realized she actually likes him. Him or his pee?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's because he's so hot, George?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B on that one, I bet.
George, you're very quiet about Logan.
He's not that hot.
I mean, it's such a wild take. Like, that's one of the wildest things ever said
on
George on a podcast.
Like what you've essentially, podcast. George, what you've essentially said is 1 + 1 = 3. You're wrong.
Yeah, like you're just wrong. Like, you're wrong.
At least I can divide by 2, and I know what 8 times 9 is.
72.
Yeah,
but you can't. You don't know what an attractive guy looks like. That's for fucking sure.
Definitely
keep
not
doing your math.
It's
Happy Friday night, boys.
It's definitely not the one who looks back at me in the mirror. I look fucking terrible today.
Oh, you look great, George. You're the hot guy of this podcast. That's for sure.
What the fuck?
Sorry, buddy.
Is it because I put on the weight again?
I don't think I see him. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's a personality thing for me, you know.
Okay. So wow, first time I've been lost for words on this podcast. So while I work out how I can block Brian from Zoom, the agents are going to head down to the lair. So let's head down there to TJ and find out exactly who the agency have chosen to face the compromised agents, Logan and Aneesa. That is a classic Mr. TJ shithousery. Absolutely winding the women up. Emmy looked like she was about to shit herself.
Actually, I've got quite strong odds of Emmy shitting herself before the end of this season, the amount of emotional breakdown she has.
She could just write a rap about it.
She could do indeed. This was a very good one, though. What was this exact wording, Levi? To refresh my memory?
Yes.
He said, I don't know if this is I never said this is just a male elimination. The women, I never said the women were off the hook. And he goes, well, they are. LOL.
Yeah. Shucks.
And then Emmy goes, oh, Mr. TJ.
Mr. TJ.
But here's the deal. This is, again, why maybe I feel like there's a gold skull twist is because he said, ooh, never assume you know it's going to happen. Even though one of my pet sayings in life, and I firmly believe this, is you know what they say about people who assume. They're usually
an ass
right.
Out of you and me.
No, they're usually right because most of the time they're right.
Well,
and, just like the challenge cast was right to assume that it was a man. Whatever.
Well, we all assumed that it would be Gabo that got voted in by the agency, and it bloody was. We were right because we assumed. Right decision. Yeah, keeps the agency safe. No blood on their hands.
Yeah, there was no one. Yeah. Of course.
There was a moment I noticed when Berna was about to make her pick, and CT said, "Say Gabo," as she was saying, "I'm going to go with my partner." That was just a bit of a telltale sign about that not being the perfect partnership that it's seeming to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like a
great thing about this podcast. We pick up on the nuances.
Well, is it because that Berna's a clown and CT has just seen two really badly images? Maybe he thought she forgot who she was meant to vote in. The reaction Brian gets from the clown.
She technically is a clown. Like that's just not.
Was the clown thing not my joke?
Yeah, it was. Mate, it was a brilliant joke.
Is this not the first time on a podcast where I've made a joke but then not been the one myself to go and run into the ground?
Yeah, it's true. Actually, usually you are the worst for that.
So not really much to discuss. Is there? Not really much to discuss about them choosing Gabo. It was obvious. It was the safest thing for them. Yeah. So why don't we just head back to TJ and find out what elimination Gabo and Logan will be playing? So elimination higher assets. Basically, they have to climb a rope to see a puzzle key and then put the puzzle together. And if they get it wrong, or if they want to see the key again, they have to climb right back up the rope. I quite like this because the rest of the challengers can't then basically tell them exactly what to do, because the rest of the challengers can't see, except maybe the one standing on the top step. Let's discuss the elimination. Brian, discuss.
My only question is, well, I have another question, so that's a lie. But my first question is, were they not allowed to use their feet? Like, were they told to only use their arms? Why didn't either of them, why were they climbing like that? Like, why didn't anybody scream at them, hey, use your feet, like use your whole body to climb?
Big dick energy, that's why.
I don't know what I'm asking. It seemed like...
No, it was big dick energy.
Okay.
Big arm energy.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. I just, it just seemed weird. Like, why didn't anybody be like, hey man, you guys use your feet, that'll help too?
I feel like that's something Devin would shout out.
Yeah, or
I know.
I don't know. It was fine.
It's
it looked like it was really hard.
It reminded me of one from The Duel, where they basically, I think it's like Evan and Nehemiah. And it's one where Evan gets caught cheating because he's got the puzzle written on his arm and TJ catches it and makes him wash it off. But we have to climb up, release the puzzle pieces, and then do a anagram.
How do you remember all this shit?
I got weird.
I remember that. Mate. Yeah, I remember that.
Me and Brian discuss it on our other podcast.
Yeah. Where it's called the Duel 3. It's just us two reacting to episodes of The Duel.
Hey Lauren. How you doing? Are you free every single Thursday night for the next 15 weeks? Some Friday would be all right as well.
Can you imagine how bad the next prank Levi
I have a question.
Lauren's hung up on me.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I saw that coming from a mile away. Not the first time a woman's hung up on you, I'm sure.
Let the bullying continue.
Did you guys think Gabo was going to win, or did you guys know this was a wrap?
No, he's never going to win.
As soon as TJ said, trick you at all?
No, as soon as TJ said you got to put together a puzzle, and Gabo went, "Oh shit." I knew
that was actually hilarious, though.
Yeah, I was the same thing. He defeated himself, which was going back to what Nani said. He underestimated himself because if he had some confidence, like he didn't do bad. Like I feel like
he
could have won that.
He's got incredible arm strength, as you said, Brian. He was doing it wrong, and he was going up. He probably went up and down a lot more than Logan. A lot more than Logan did on Big T. Hey,
blurring the tone.
I've completely lost my train of thought now. If he had anything physical, Gabo would have wiped the floor with Logan, right? Yes. Straight up strength competition. Mate.
Although he didn't look like when that scene they show in the club with his tiny little white shorts, it did seem like he skipped quite a few leg days as well. I will say that.
All the leg days.
That outfit. Well, apparently he only works out arms.
No, that's what I mean. Like those are some fucking those are like some.
Did you think the moment that he prayed to Mike the situation that it was going to help him?
I do think he thought. Yes, absolutely. That's why.
But did you think, Brian? Did you think?
Oh no! I knew he was cooked. I knew it was a wrap. Yeah,
Mike the situation is busy.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. Well, see, that's what I always wonder is when like people like think like athletes like thank God. It's like, I feel like God's like this. Like I feel like I don't think he's paying attention. But anyways, that's a different podcast for a different day.
So why is he helping you and not the other ones? What have you done for God? How do you get to one of his lists?
Also, like, why not just like thank yourself for waking up at 6 a.m. and working out every single day?
Okay, hold on. Before we get too much into like blasphemy and stuff like that, let's move on.
So that's enough blasphemy. How about some blast for you?
No. So can I also ask, why are Ashley and Amanda suddenly so obsessed with Gabo in this elimination?
I don't think they're not. I think they're just being nice. I think he looked really sad.
Like he looked like sad.
Like it was that you've seen people lose eliminations and they're a bit like they obviously look disappointed. Gabo looked distraught. I wanted to just hug him. I wouldn't be able to put my arms around his arms, so I might have to hug his legs, as Brian has pointed out, because they're skinny.
Yes, very skinny.
But yeah, I think that's the only reason, Levi. They're just quite not. They're just looking after someone who needs some help.
What did you think of this elimination? Like, ultimately, I think to do it, it would have been really hard, but it was very boring to watch.
I like these ones because of what you learn about competitors during them. They're a better source of information than they are a source of entertainment.
Ooh, that's a really good way to put it.
Really good.
I like that, actually. Like the Rock of Gibraltar in the first episode of Vendettas was basically like a source of...
The only Levi challenge you've something done.
Oh, you didn't?
I thought I had COVID, all right?
Oh my god!
No, so basically, Brian, I thought I had COVID and had to be tested.
The intro of this podcast.
It's the only bit I'm going to listen to. The rest of it makes me sad. I have to clip these up for Instagram. I'll be like, I'm not putting that bit in. Not that bit either.
There's a lot of good clips you can put on this for this week. Some are really funny.
By the time I've edited all the bullying out of this from you two bastards, it's going to be a 4-minute podcast just doing Emmy's reaction.
I
watch that.
Yeah, and keep the clown comment in because that is hilarious.
I'll keep it, but I'll take out all the times you use it, you bastard. No, I can't be bothered to edit. I've got to go to sleep at some point. Were you impressed by either of them, or were they just both quite mediocre?
I was more impressed by Gabo and less impressed by Logan. So if anything, they're like my opinions of him definitely changed after this one. Like Gabo, I thought was awesome. Logan, I thought would walk this, and he wasn't great.
But we already know, George, that you hate Logan anyway.
I don't hate him. I just don't think he's that hot.
Oh, that's so much hate, isn't it, Brian?
Every time you say it, it's just like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Yeah. What?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, what do you...
Can we go back to taking the piss out of Levi?
No, we can't because
you have to answer for saying outlandish things.
So outlandish.
Like the definition of outlandish.
So the company you're putting him in with like the new hot guy stuff, previous new hot guys are like unbelievably good looking. He is nowhere near.
I'm not putting. Whoa. Wait, hold on. Keep going. Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait.
Dig the hole deeper. Dig your hole deeper, George.
Who isn't he near? What? Who isn't he near?
Like he's not near Joss and Jordan.
I mean, he is.
He's not.
I mean,
look at the modelling photos, Brian. You put up. This is so much of this podcast has been me arguing about how I don't find Logan hot.
Siri, who's hotter, Joss, Jordan, or Logan? Logan is hotter. Oh, thanks, Siri.
Yeah, no, Siri knows.
Nice one, Siri.
Your Siri
I think that
you're
just not. Maybe it's a hair thing. Like maybe the long hair throws you off.
No, it's his face.
Brian, will you take your ponytail down?
Face, sure. It's his perfect face.
Ratings.
That's like not good enough for you.
Look. Oh my God. he took it down and he's disappeared.
I think Brian's hair just left the lead. Mate, we need to wrap this up. We have gone off fucking topic and Brian's got 10 minutes for us to leave.
Where the fuck's Brian gone?
Should we pause?
No, he's back.
Okay, cool.
It's all right. There's an edit point anyway.
Did your hair make you leave the call, Brian?
What happened?
You fucked off.
I didn't. It just disappeared. I don't know.
Well, I think what happened was Zoom couldn't take how hot you were once your hair came down, and it just was like, no, I've got to take a breather here, and that's what happened. I mean, come on, George. Go on, George. Tell me this isn't hot. Tell us this isn't hot.
I never said long. I didn't find long hair attractive. I think Brian looks better with his hair down. Long hair Zach looks better than short hair Zach.
Yes, I agree with that.
Anyway,
well,
not Chris. Yeah, sorry.
Let's talk about the challenge because we have 10 more minutes of Brian. So after the elimination, Gabo does the pumped Gabo flex at the request of Amanda and Ashley. Okay, yeah, there we go. it's like a mixture between Logan and Gabo right in front of us.
That's
Huey's
the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
You see, I say nice things. You guys say horrible things. Huey's pleased to see him gone now because he doesn't have to worry about losing Nanny. This is going to age. And now the big decision. Will Logan pick Garbo's partner, Emmy, from rapping, or infiltrate and steal someone else's partner? Let's head down to the lair to the hottest man currently in Croatia and find out. Oh, poor Huey. Yeah. What did we think of Logan's decision to pick Nanny?
I'm kind of confused because, like, obviously they're thinking, the rookies all season who've needed to choose, is like, choose someone middle of the road who, like, isn't gonna put like a target on you for choosing them. But because they're all choosing that way, like, wouldn't it make sense to like just say fuck it and choose like CT or Corey?
You can't
or
choose
like
CT
like
because he's a guy. There's no guy partnership.
He means in general though, right?
But in general, like, wouldn't it more behoove these people to start picking stronger people because everyone's using the same, like, zag when everyone else is zigging, you know?
Yeah.
I thought he picked like Tori because of the Aneesa connection.
Kind of what I thought too. Because I mean, Tori's probably the strongest girl left. Like, right?
Casey?
In her own mind.
Yeah, but Tori or Casey, right? I mean, that's it. Right?
How would you feel right now if you were Huey?
Sad.
Can you say how you'd feel in your accent, Levi?
That's a way better idea.
Can you do your Huey, what you think's going through Huey's head at the moment? I
was so happy to see Gabo gone because it meant that I could keep Nani. And then Logan comes and he fucking steals her. And I look at him, but I can't be mad because he's so hot, even though George just is an idiot and can't see it. So I'm not going to be mad at him. But I'm now stuck with Emmy, who she's wonderful, but we're a rookie team. We're in so much trouble, or as Devin calls them, a true international dream team. This is going to be my new favorite partnership. I think it could be a bigger hotness than Huey and Ashley. Hashtag Dwemmy.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I'm into it. The worse the better. I don't. I'm actually sad. I'm sad about it because they're like, I don't want like them, like my two of my favorites. So like, I don't want them to be together. Like they're not gonna last. It's not gonna last long.
It's all right. They'll probably next week go up against, like, I don't know, CT and Casey in elimination. Absolutely smash them. Hashtag Huemi.
But you know what I mean? Like, this kind of just spells the doom for them. Both of them.
There's not even any point doing who traded up, who traded down, because obviously Logan went from no one to Nani, and then Emmy and Huey Huey went from being in a good position to being in a rookie. And so that's the end of the episode. But we get a little bit of foreshadowing from our little friend Tori, who says the vets are playing the safest game possible, but soon enough, that's going to change and there will be some vets inside the lair fighting in the stand. Last time we had some foreshadowing was Kyle, and the next episode, a vet got thrown in, Amber, by Fessy. So do we think next week vets are going in?
There's a big blow up as well, isn't there, next week?
According to the preview, it's not spoiler because Challenge put it on TV.
Yeah. Esther and Amber go at it.
Josh and Fessy. Amber and Fessy.
That would be cool if this became like the flashpoint and every one of the vets had to pick a side in that, and you always got two teams forming.
Which side would you choose, Fessy or Amber?
Amber.
100%, because the B stands for bloody well picking your side, not Fessy's.
Very long name.
Who would you pick? Which side, Ryan?
CT's side.
Which side? No. You have to pick an Amber side or a Fessy side.
Oh, well, Amber, because Fessy sucks.
Yeah. There we go. So that ends the elimination in the episode. What did you think of this episode, boys?
It's the weakest one of the season so far.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't hate it. It's actually had the most funny one-liners out of a lot of recent episodes. I had calling Devin a pig, the undergarments bit. Those will actually stick in my head for a very, very long time. But yeah, it just wasn't. I think it's the combination of having like an unmemorable daily and elimination together. It takes a lot for an episode to recover from that, and this one just wasn't quite up there for it. It was still an episode of a challenge, so I was happy.
Right.
I mean, I disagree. I loved it. I mean, I thought it was awesome. I mean, I feel like I'm much more pro Gabo than you guys though. So like I was just into the Gabo story basically of it all. But I don't know. I mean, we got a cool hookup. We got some funny moments. We got a decent daily challenge. Everybody got muddy. There was an injury. There was an ambulance. There was shouting. There was tears. I feel like, what else are we looking for here? What do we want? What more do we want? You know,
this part of it, boring though, Vets Alliance thing to be done.
I think you're right. I think like this, it is. When I did argue earlier, like it's a good thing that this is happening with the rookies. It is hurting it because like I don't care. I don't really care about Gabo or Logan, like at all. You know, I like Gabo. Logan. Yeah, I like Gabo. I mean, Logan seems like Logan likes Logan. So it's like, but I don't care. I want to see my friends play the game. Like I want to watch people I know. I don't want to watch people I don't know anymore. So you're right. Like the Vet Alliance part of it is getting kind of.
I just feel like
let's go.
Let's
get the show on the road.
The best part of the whole episode was the actual mission. The rest of it for me, I was just like, I had to sit through it twice and write a running order. That's kind of how I felt. Like last week's episode, I was like, yes, I get to sit through it twice and write a running order. This week, I was like, oh my god.
Well, that's because last week you had Huey on. So
no, but regardless,
if we hadn't had Huey,
if we hadn't had Huey, like I know every week I have to watch the episode twice and I have to write a running order of the episode. Last week, regardless of Huey being on, I would have been excited to sit and watch that the second time. This week, I was like, oh my god. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, no, I get it.
As George says, next week, based on that little preview in the trailer, it's going to heat up between the Big Brother non-alliance, as I like to call them. But yeah, it's been the best part of this episode, Brian, has been sitting down and chatting about it with you and George.
No, stop it.
Okay,
yeah, been lovely.
Like
and seeing your long hair.
Yeah, I've never seen it, Dan.
Hotter than Logan.
You're welcome, boys.
You're not
take a screenshot. No, oh God, are you kidding? I wish.
I don't need to take a screenshot. We've recorded the whole Zoom session. But no, Brian. Obviously, you've got your winners and losers. You've got the mailbag that you did with Jake. You've got your weekly recaps. Where can people see this?
Yeah, just go to my Medium page, brianrbatty.medium.com.
And you post on the Reddit as well, don't you?
Post them on the Reddit, and that's it. You gotta. I like to make people learn it a little bit, you know.
Username TJ's bike.
TJ's bike. That's right. In reference to TJ's preferred mode of transportation.
Well, it's time for us to get on our bikes and head off, boys. Always a pleasure, never a chore. If you just stop bullying me, Brian, we'd love to have you back on a bit later this season. George, if Lauren's not available, I'll see you next week.
Well played. Lovely to see you all. Bye.
And we'll be.
Adios.
That's not how we sign off. And we'll be releasing again on a Friday next week because I've got Yom Kippur on Thursday, so we can't record. But continue the conversation this week, over the weekend, into next week, over on the Challenge subreddit. If you want to get in touch with us, our socials are at Challenge React on Twitter and Instagram. And as usual, I'm going to leave you with the trailer for next week's episode of The Challenge. You ready, George? Spies, Lies, and Allies.
Allies. Oh, shoot.
Cheers, Brian. See you soon.